Well, hello there. Commodore Calabasas. I I am going to be making a little bit of a video today. It's going to be a bit of a long one. Mainly because I hate H Bomber Guy because of his micro dick, and I'm going to be getting into that in a minute. I'm going to be talking about Star Wars: The Force Awakens, movie I don't really give a fuck about. I liked it. I thought it was pretty good, but that one scene where Han Solo just like blind shoots that stormtrooper, that was like so fucking dumb that almost killed the fucking movie for me. It was just way too fucking stupid. Like, I like stupid action movies for their stupidness and their silliness, but that's like, it's a bridge too far. You know what I mean? It's hard to explain if you don't get the action movie shit, but yeah, no, it's a bridge too far. Anyways, to get a little bit more into detail about, like, I have been through hell growing up, so this whole like this whole obsession with like superheroes, Star Wars, like all that shit, like I can't relate to it. I don't give a fuck like any of you do. I do like Batman, but that's pretty much it. And when it comes to Batman, I like that animated show from the 90s, and I like Batman Mask of the Phantasm, and then literally everything else I think is like maybe the comics. There's some good comics. I've seen some good comics out there, but like the movies, that Christian Bale stuff, it's okay. It's not Batman to me. That is my whole views on like dork stuff. Oh yeah, Wolverine is cool, I guess, but I mean, again, that's like that's like my second favorite superhero besides Batman, and I don't give a flying fuck. Anyways, I'm gonna be making fun of both of these idiots, which is like so fucking. I love doing shit like this.
The editing, the seem to have a segment where I watch an
All right, so
Nitasaki
here we go.
but I wonder what the internet thought of Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Okay, for this video I was going to have a segment where I watch Anita Sarkeesian's review of The Force Awakens with my camera on and react to it in real time. But once I'd started, I found there really wasn't anything to react to. She's gotten really good at hiding the fact she's secretly two Hitlers behind layers of straightforward, understandable criticism, the monster.
Layers of understandable
It
criticism.
must take a lot of skill and talent to be constantly outraged at her opinions for money. I couldn't even muster the anger to Photoshop her company logo into fascist propaganda.
She's a victim.
In the time it takes.
So that was perfectly understandable opinions. So already we have what strongly suggests extreme mental illness and extreme insecurity. So he makes a claim and no attempt to back it up. Now he could be telling the truth, so why bother do the exact same thing as him when I'm not a total fucking micro-dicked pussy and I can actually fucking back up my claims. Let's fucking do it. Let's watch the video. This is a part 2 of that. And we're not going to go through this entire thing. Don't worry, I have timestamps. I'm not fucking around here. Can't see my timestamps because I don't have it up on that screen. I'm dual monitoring, yo. Alright, number 1.
Franchises of all time is that its two main characters.
This is her favorite. By far what I found most appealing about Force Awakens.
Appealing about The Force Awakens, one of the most anticipated films of the decade and one of the most universally beloved film franchises of all time, is that its two main characters are a white woman and a black man.
This is, objectively speaking, misogyny and racism. Not even like maybe, kind of, and why this is tolerated, I don't know. Imagine saying the same thing about a white guy and like an Asian woman.
This is meaningful not only because it moves Star Wars into a space that better reflects its audience.
That doesn't really make any sense. The audience is majority white men, objectively speaking. So already we've disproven H-Bomber guy's argument that these are understandable, reasonable, whatever the fuck he said, the arguments are completely flawed. That literally makes no sense. It's, first of all, to be clear, I like the fact that they've included. I fucking hate how fucking racist this franchise became after this movie. But this movie itself, 100%, I dig the inclusion. That is actually very good. What they did, it became like super both racist and misogynist, specifically for the fact that, without going into too much detail here, if you know anything about writing, you know that they set up Finn to become a Jedi, and the fact that somebody in the business who had power to write the scripts saw that in the previous movie, this one, Force Awakens, and just ignored that is some of the most racist shit I've fucking ever seen in a movie, personally. That's why I fucking, that killed Star Wars for me, basically, that racist shit. I just wanted to see Finn become a Jedi. That's all I wanted to see in this shit. I wanted them to team up and do some badass Jedi shit. Didn't happen. Fuck this fucking franchise. Anyways, that's me.
But because the franchise
Yeah, acting like the gender and race of the characters in the movie was a selling point for you, was special to you. Doesn't matter what wording you want to use. Objectively speaking, racist and sexist. Are you fucking stupid? What are you, a child? Fucking feminism. This is toxic femininity. Everything this woman says is toxic femininity. It's a perfect example of it. Alright, next one is around 238.
hero. As the film progressed from one explosion to another and from one massacre to another, I just went with it. Star Wars has previously relegated tremendous slaughter and suffering to the background. In the original film, the entire planet of Alderaan is obliterated, but little heed is paid to the incomprehensible loss. In The Force Awakens,
She cuts right when they are comprehending the loss. Right after that scene, they're comprehending the loss. Are you fucking stupid?
too.
Dude, she's such a fucking delusional incel, dude. Like, this is the least fuckable woman on the planet right here. She's so fucking ugly, too. Like, it's not just her self-esteem that makes her unfuckable.
Give the audience time to process the actual scale of the war, the actual loss of life, the actual morality or lack thereof on either side of the conflict. And that's just how they keep us enthralled.
I hate this kind of mental illness. Yeah, dumbass, it's a fucking action movie. That's how they work. That's how action works. Bunch of people die, no one really gives a fuck, and we move on to the next scene. You just literally described every single fucking action movie in the entire history of fucking movies, you stupid fucking fragile cunt. God damn, that's embarrassing. God damn. And the next few points are like all one after another.
As one critic points out in this brutally accurate piece, everything that puts you in the moment when you're watching it falls apart as soon as you turn your brain back on.
Sounds like a micro-dicked, fucking deeply delusional take, considering that's literally every single action movie. Have you ever thought about The Matrix? One of the best movies ever made. Action movies ever made. There's a lot of dumbass stuff in The Matrix that does not make a fucking lot of sense. You know what's not fun to do? Watching an action movie and taking it way too fucking seriously, you insecure, stupid ass fucking losers. And then writing online about how you're superiority complex and you're such a genius for, like, realizing that an action movie is fucking stupid. Really? Really, you don't say, dumbass. Jesus fucking Christ.
However, my job is to always think about these things. I don't watch or play anything without thinking about and analyzing the content, and I'm okay with that.
Holy fuck, this is what a superiority complex looks like. She can't help but criticize and look at everything from a critical lens. Literally everything she watches. She's such a genius. And you know what? She's such a victim of her own genius, but she's okay with it. She's surviving, dude. She's surviving being a victim, okay?
Thinking and critiquing and analyzing is what gives us better stories. So
Is this even the next point? Yeah, there's one more point here.
As enjoyable as the film was, it's still just so Star Wars.
See how she does that? See how she does that? This is like she's like this is like literally what sociopaths do. She wants to say that she likes the movie, but she's trying her best to actually piss off as many Star Wars fans, what she sees as like, the toxic male fans of Star Wars as much as possible. And comments like that are like a perfect example of that. And how earlier in this, I think I skipped over this part entirely. How she talks about how like she watched the first trilogy and said it's just all right, which to me is hilarious because like I wouldn't even consider myself a big Star Wars fan, but I am a big fan of like films and how films work and directing and acting and shots and performances and writing and so on and so forth. And the first trilogy is, objectively speaking, some of the best films ever made, like in the history of mankind, especially A New Hope. It's pretty much a perfect movie by pretty much every standard you can look at it. Like, it is actually that good. Which isn't to say it's flawless. People fucking misunderstand that completely. It's about things like the pacing and where your mind is when you're watching the movie and what you're thinking about when you watch the movie, and like how entertained you are and how focused you are in the next scene. Things like that matter a lot more than like, oh well, I thought about this after watching this movie 10 times and thinking about it later. It has this really stupid flaw. Well, yeah, thank you, idiot. You fucking done nothing. All right, 2 more points here, and this video's done.
Huge Star Wars fan. The binary nature
The reason why she won't be a huge Star Wars fan.
its depiction of good and evil is really reductive. The rebellion versus the Empire in the original trilogy, the Republic versus the First Order in The Force Awakens. It's also simplistic that it inevitably becomes a very regressive, deeply conservative narrative.
That's the point, you stupid cunt. It's kind of like at its core about this thing called World War II, and there's like this Hitler guy. I probably shouldn't get into it. You're probably too stupid to fucking understand a lot of it. But yeah, it's kind of about that, and you're right, that is pretty like black and white. It sure was, you stupid fucking bitch. How the fuck is she this stupid, dude? How the fuck is she this stupid? No, of course it is. It's a fucking Disney movie, dude. What are you expecting? God damn, people have such. I fucking hate nerds like this, dude. Nerds like this are the most pathetic losers. Like, what are you expecting out of a fucking Star Wars movie? Not even like the first trilogy was doing anything wild like this. Like, what the fuck? It's supposed to be a good movie. God damn. This is the last one.
To subvert, complicate, or at least play with this good versus evil binary, but didn't seize on them. I was intrigued by Finn's resistance to his lifelong conditioning and his obvious horror at acts of violence and torture, but it took all of a few moments until he was more than fine killing the bad guys. Even though he had just...
Again, like, it's just, like, all of this comes down to, like, you dumbass. This isn't a good argument. This is you misunderstanding what an action movie is and where your focus as the audience is. And the fact that, like, she doesn't, like... The only thing wrong with this movie that I can think of off the top of my head is literally the part with Han Solo. Actually, right around this scene, I'm pretty sure, where he just like blind fires the stormtrooper or whatever. That is definitely an issue because it doesn't go with the character. It doesn't make sense for that character. He's never been like some crazy, insane, like duelist who fucking can blind fire somebody. That's never been a feature of his character. Nor does it make sense that he would like grow into that in any way whatsoever. Like, there's no explanation for that scene. So that is definitely the dumbest scene and something that should be commented on. But of course, since this is a stupid, man-hating incel cunt who is incapable of forming an argument, much like H-Bomber guy with the micro dick and the inferiority complex, They're just like they're incapable of forming arguments or even actually seeing flaws in this. Anyway, so let's get back to it. So we already disproved that argument completely. Just dismantled every fucking aspect of his dumbass fucking comment there, which love it.
Takes you to make one of those propaganda posters. You could have done all kinds of far more interesting things. You could have.
I think that propaganda poster actually 100% makes sense. She's a total incel. She's definitely a misogynist as well. See how triggered she gets over fucking video game characters, bro? Yikes. Anyways, this shit is just... I love this.
Mr.
All right.
E has something to say about the Star Wars films.
This is one of those funny things to me. It's like, micro-dicked losers like H-Bomber Guy, I guarantee you, will never talk shit to me. I make dudes like this my bitch, and they're like, it's like I'm shark, he's a fish, and he will only go after smaller fish. He will never even come near me. He won't even fucking look at me. When I'm in the area, he fucking walks off, alright? He leaves. He's out of the venue, okay? Pussies like this have to go after the motherfuckers like this. And I'm not even trying to be a cunt here, but like... Guy in the top left here is clearly on his best day, and it's just not a good look. He like thinks the slicked back looks good on him, and it doesn't look good. It's not an easy look for many men to pull off. I can't do the slicked back look. I can't do it. I doubt. There's no way in hell H Bomber Guy can do it. He can't. H Bomber Guy is one of the ugliest. He's no Jason Schreier, okay, but he's one of the ugliest fucks I've seen. So he's definitely not pulling off the slicked back. So, this poor bastard already, I see the slicked back, and I'm like, I feel a temptation not to bully, because, like, how the fuck do you have that little social intelligence,
Let's
right?
watch.
SJW's ruined Star Wars.
As a left-leaning humanist, yeah. Yeah, that's 100% fair. Why does this offend you?
This is going to be one fucking badass Star Wars review, let me tell you.
I've always been very fond of Star Wars. I strongly suspected that something wasn't right, since mainstream critics are generally leftists pushing an agenda. With this
Mainstream critics are mostly leftists is definitely accurate. I don't know why you would even fucking consider pushing back on that, because that's just dumb as fuck. That's 100% true. Whether or not pushing the agenda, that sounds like some dumbass delusional shit that like H-Bomber Guy would say. So no, definitely not right there. Another thing that drives me fucking nuts is this guy. I'm not even trying to be a dick here, but this poor bastard is fucking clearly reading a script, and he's either read it once or he has the attention span of a fucking goldfish, because he just is constantly looking at the script, and it's driving me nuts.
I'm going to explain how and why everything about The Force Awakens was completely shaped around a leftist, social justice warrior agenda.
Everything?
See, this is one of those things that, as somebody left-leaning, I don't get why this criticism, I don't get why this offends you. I have self-esteem, maybe that's why, because you're all, like, pussies like H-Bomber Guy over here. Like...
Oh man, he's going to talk about the direction of the film, or the
I don't
sound
get it.
design, or the cinematography, or the editing, or the symbolism.
I was already expecting straight white male.
Well, first of all, that comment right there was just mental gymnastics from H-Bomber Guy, because the guy is probably generalizing, and since you don't know the person and he hasn't specified, we can't really jump to conclusions on what exactly he meant by that. So I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt here and maybe assume he's speaking genuinely, although based on the pushing agendas comment, I have a feeling this guy's gonna be pretty fucking stupid throughout.
To take a back seat. But this acceptance was completely inadequate for the myriad of problems with the movie. Star Wars has always been most loved by young white males, but like comics and everything
If you doubt that, you're a dumbass.
else, white males enjoy, they now have to share or give up their culture.
I have to share my comics with girls.
Share or give up. Share makes a degree of sense, but it doesn't really make sense considering, you know. Yeah, it's more like people are included into that inclusion. Non-white men are included into that. I don't really get what he's saying with sharing, and give up is also seems extremely dishonest. And of course, H Bomber Guy only cares about women because women are always victims to micro-dicked fucking feminist men like this. It's too fucking funny, dude. He said he included, you know, non-white people in that, but it's girls that are the victims.
Women have a rich history in cinema, with roles like Ripley in Ridley Scott's Aliens, Catwoman in Tim Burton's Batman, or Princess Leia in George Lucas's Star Wars.
This is, again, H Bomber Guy is going full micro-dicked here. That's totally fair to bring up 3 examples. He doesn't need to bring up any more. Would you want him to spend fucking an hour and 40 minutes like H Bomber Guy does explaining the same point over and over again? Thank God this guy got to the fucking point, provided examples, and then moved the fuck on. He gets points. He gets 1 point for that. Out of 10, let's make it out of like fucking 10. So he's got 1 point right now.
Sci-fi and fantasy should adhere to rules set by the storyteller. The Force Awakens not only fails to do this, but even sacrifices old rules to pander to SJW ideology.
He spends a good long...
I don't maybe I could see what he's talking about, considering fucking how racist the other 2 movies are, but since he's specifically talking about this one, I'm gonna say wrong.
Time holding on this picture of Rey. I like to think she's reacting to what he's saying.
SJWs reacted to Avengers Age of Ultron, trolling, harassing and bullying Joss Whedon on Twitter. Though Whedon denies he left Twitter for this reason,
in this part she's probably thinking, why is he talking about Joss Whedon being harassed on Twitter by idiots? I thought this video was about Star Wars. Unsubscribed.
Luke took 3 movies to grow as a character.
People think he's funny.
And throughout the original trilogy, Luke was saved and helped at multiple points.
She's not exactly like Luke Skywalker. No, she's not like the old ones. I guarantee you, right now, at some point he's going to complain that it's a rehash of A New Hope, right?
The second protagonist of the film...
I mean, plenty of people have made that complaint. Are they somehow wrong? It's fine. If that bothers you, that's, like, who cares? This is one of those things that makes me fucking laugh so hard. He's, like, so proud of it. I guarantee you, he'll mention it's a rehash of No Hope. Who the fuck cares, you fucking loser? Bro, like, touch some fucking grass, brother.
Was also a product of SJW ideology. It's clear his primary role was to fill diversity quotas. Finn was a poor substitute for previous black roles, Mace Windu and Lando Calrissian, while John Boyega is the effeminate male...
Wait, so...
He called John Boyega effeminate? I don't know if Micro Dick Bomber Guy is gonna fucking mention that, but, on what planet? I haven't seen the movie in forever, but I don't have any idea what he's fucking talking about. That sounds like some delusional shit.
Quota. But the other 2 were what, just normal black people?
Finn was a character...
Doesn't even mention the effeminate comment. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is the typical, this H-Bomber Guy is the typical feminist male. So, sexism and misandry, racism, whatever, it doesn't fucking matter at all unless it happens to women. Especially white women, and then this guy is fucking outraged.
That made no sense. He had no Jedi training, but could fight with a lightsaber.
Jedi training? It's a stick! It's a glowing stick! Hayden Christensen can swing that stick like a ballerina, and he's the clumsiest person in the world! Han Solo uses it at one point. Man, it's weird how you forgot about the scene where Han Solo...
Cuts. Where Han Solo cuts. There's... Like, both these guys are fucking morons. And it's pretty much for the same reason. It's basically semantics here, guys. And there's a big difference between, you know, cutting a fucking piece of salami with a katana and then using a katana to fight a samurai who is also trained in using a katana. For example, dumbass. Why is logic so fucking hard for micro-dick losers like H-Bomber Guy?
saves Luke's life. You'd think a fan would remember that sort of thing.
Or maybe it's completely different.
Always been very fond of Star Wars.
By the way, word of advice, if you're reading from a script, don't wave your head around as you stare at it like that for emphasis, because people can then tell that you're just reading from a script, and it kind of defeats the whole purpose of orating to a person. When I talk to a human being, I look at them. I don't go, let me read from my pre-prepared notes.
Yeah, thank you, dumbass. We got it. Again, another H-Bomber Guy point where he makes a point and then he reiterates it and he makes a fucking unfucking funny joke and he's just not fucking funny and he just doesn't fucking get it. I fucking hate it.
Force Awakens was still a tragic affair. The plot was such a rehash of A New Hope that this could not...
Fucking called it!
It's entirely possible that H-Bomber Guy watched this video beforehand, and I wouldn't put past him considering how, like, micro-dick this dude is, but in this case, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
In this video...
And again, the weird thing about this is that, like, I see specifically, this is one of those things that just only my micro-dicked left-leaning peers do, and that's they act like these arguments that, like, everybody will make this argument about Star Wars, for example. I've seen plenty of left-leaning people make the exact same argument that it's just a rehash of A New Hope, but because a conservative made this, or this guy who we're assuming is conservative, because he made the argument, it's somehow like a dunk. You know, it's fucking dumb as hell, dude. It's pussy shit.
I've only scratched the surface of...
I agree, it's been like 8.5 minutes, and you've not even really talked about the film. Maybe you should do a redo. Oh, I guess I'm watching it, so he didn't. Why am I giving the screen advice?
Again, people think this is fucking funny. God damn, dude. God damn, man. Like, every British person I am friends with would fucking make this little bitch cry. Hell, everybody I'm fucking friends with could make this little bitch H-Bomber Guy cry.
This is Rocking Mystery, over and out.
That's a great font. That'll just scare leftists right off. By the way, when you're making...
I'm terrified.
Try not to incorporate 3 different fonts at once. It's not good on the eyes. You'll notice that
it hurts the eyes, but I still love it.
Crisp and consistent. It doesn't look like this. When you completely avoid talking about the audio and...
That's such a good criticism, but I love it anyways. It looks... holy shit, that looks bad. But I love it.
Visual aspects of a medium that's mostly audio and visual. In fact, it's all of it. You might be doing analysis wrong. Apparently, it's more of a controversial...
Tell us more, superiority complex ever.
...main character than it was 30 years ago. And that's messed up. It's been a couple of years since Rocking Mystery's video about cultural Marxists, so maybe he's gotten a bit better at having a real discussion with...
Oh, let's just get to part 2.
Not everyone can get that right. The pre-sexual fantasies of a broken boy. Oh god.
I hate...
Listen up, white man. J.J. Abrams hates you. He relishes the thought of your extinction as he looks forward to a multi-culty matriarchy where instead of studying math and sciences, everyone sits around discussing their feelings.
Why specifically is it J.J. Abrams who hates me? You know, he co-wrote the script, along with returning Star Wars writer Lawrence Kasdan and...
Film is the equivalent of auto-castration!
Sounds like H-Bomber Guy. Genuinely, I can't tell which one is H-Bomber Guy.
Skywalker, on the other hand, came out of the womb already an expert on everything. The blame for this Star War can be assigned entirely to his dick. This entire film is metaphorical for affirmative action. Women in today's society graduate high school endowed with physical female hiring quotas, failed at school, broke the law, gave birth to a bastard. Meanwhile, the boys who were raised beside her...
This guy, like, gets upset over the dumbest shit, dude.
Killing of the shrew.
It's such a mind fuck to me that people actually think this dude is fucking funny.
Also, I couldn't help but notice that the question isn't, did our reporting make you not see it? It just right-wing conservative types have problems with The Force Awakens. I'm beginning to think it's something to do with the black-clad a compliment, right? You really have to wonder why so many right-wing conservative types have problems with The Force Awakens.
Do you ever wonder why? Do you ever wonder how confirmation bias works? You ever wonder about that? This is the thing I love so fucking much. Every single one of these pieces of shit always assumes I'm conservative. Just because I fucking can't stand these micro-dicked, fucking man-hating pieces of shit, dude. Like, H. Palmer guy is one of those dudes who all you have to do is mention the fact that men cannot be legally raped in the UK, and they fucking have a mental breakdown, dude. It's fucking pathetic. Fucking, it's all about, like, conservatives, dude. Anyone who criticizes them or dislikes anything they like, they have to be conservative. Fucking, I hate micro-dicked pussies like this, dude. It's so embarrassing, dude. Yeah, it is, like, definitely, like, 100%. This is, like, unlike the guy before, this is actually, like, everything I see here is 100% cringe and 100% deserving of the criticism. The problem is, you're no different, H. Bomber guy. You're exactly the same, you micro-dicked pussy. Like, what the fuck are you fucking criticizing these people for when you're exactly that same person? You know? This is why I fucking made this video so fucking long. Because these fucking H-Bomber guys are so... Look at this. That's exactly what I thought. That's exactly what I thought. That's what an H-Bomber guy fan looks like. You can never see what they fucking look like. And here we go. Jesus fucking Christ, bro. Just unfuckable, dude. Just a bunch of unfuckable fucking losers. Fucking wicked cringe, man. That's why I just can't be offended by anybody. If you like H-Bomber guy, like... There's nothing you could say that's gonna offend me. He's literally the worst trash on YouTube. All his videos are long because of the fact that he needs the money, dude. That is greedy as fuck. That is what YouTube at. Look at all these videos that are hours long. It's because YouTube has asked people to make them hours long. This is 8 years ago, before YouTube was asking people to make long videos, and both of them are 15 minutes long. He's got a part 1 and a part 2. Why didn't he go from making part 1 and part 2 to making 4-hour long videos? The dude is a micro-dicked loser, bro. And, like, if you watch this, fucking loser, I feel so bad for you. And this will not be the end of this. I'm gonna be fucking making fun of this piece of shit for as long as I have a channel. So, go ahead and try and report me. I dare you, fucking pussies. Anyways, yeah, that's a video for micro-dicked losers all around. Fucking embarrassing me, bro. Peace.